Greetings everyone. Hi, it's Chaplain Bates. This month in our unit, we're focusing on the thrill to live, living on purpose. Last week, I challenged everyone to connect to protect, to reach out to 22 people around them, friends, coworkers, family, and accept our Mission 22 challenge. Instead of 22 push-ups a day, to reach out during the month of September, during Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month in the military, just to reach out and say, hey, I'm thinking about you, you're not alone. If you ever need anything, you know you can reach out to me. This last week, someone reached out to me with those words, and I was amazed at how big a difference that little reminder that somebody's there, somebody's connected, someone's watching and available, should I ever need them. This week, we're going to look again at another protective factor in the thrill to live and a motivation in living life on purpose, and that's accountability. We said last week, we need to be connected, we need to have accountability, and we need to have hope. So this week, we're going to take a look at accountability. Well, what is accountability? Webster's defines accountability as to be responsible for something or to keep track of. And in the military, we have accountability all the time. We have accountability formations, we have accountability for our equipment through our inventories. We are always keeping track of things that matter, things that are important. And so in this month, as we focus on the thrill to live, keeping accountability for one another is an important part of this process. This last week on our compound, we paused on September 11th, and we honored and we remembered and we reflected on that fateful day, September 11th, 2001. Most of you in our unit know that I pastored for 25 years before raising my hand and swearing in as an Army chaplain. But what most of you do not know is that the last 11 years of my life as a pastor, I was also EMS captain and firefighter for McCall Fire and EMS in the little town of McCall, Idaho. When the events of 9/11 unfolded, it was a seminal event for me, because it was at that moment that God began to work on my heart and to plant the idea that maybe I could do more, that maybe I too could join the military in support of our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, all of our civilians, and all of the people who make this nation great. As a firefighter, we never send anybody into a structure fire alone. It's just not smart. We always keep accountability of our people by moving in teams. Much like the military, we never send anybody in alone. I remember this one house fire that we rolled up on scene, and after doing our initial scene size up and determining where the flames were, and someone from outside said, hey, there are people still inside the house. And I remember our Chief Sparks and our Assistant Chief Limbers and a firefighter Wheeler and myself, 4 of us were the initial attack. And as we made our way inside the building and split up, we began to do a search while also trying to extinguish the flames. Now, what most people don't realize in a structure fire, unlike Hollywood, is it's dark. There's not flames, you can't see. And so it's very, very important to not lose contact with the person that you're with. So in the fire services, what we will do is a right-hand sweep or a left-hand sweep of a room on your knees. As you crawl around, the person in the lead will have his hand or his shoulder against the wall. If you're doing a right-hand sweep, it's the right hand. If a left-hand sweep, it's the left hand or the left shoulder. And then the next firefighter will take his hand and put it on the outside leg, allowing them to sweep even further through the room. But it's very, very important. You never lose contact with the wall, and you never lose contact with the firefighter in front of you. So too is accountability. When we go into the raging fires of life, it's military or civilian, it's important to be grounded, to have our contact point. That's the connection we talked about last week. That's the wall. But it's also important to have the accountability, to know that someone is leading and that in danger there's someone right there that you have a hold of that can reach out and help rescue you. That's what accountability is all about. The ability to be so connected, to know what's going on, that in the moments of trouble, you're there. We must have accountability. We must invite accountability. We must allow accountability. As much as we sometimes think, I don't want to be accountable, we actually truly need to have accountability in our life. You know, lack of accountability always leads to a loss of usability. Not allowing accountability is to operate with a disability. And when we live accountable, then we are able to overcome the insurmountable. Those are three sayings that I always remind myself the importance of being accountable and allowing accountability around me. We should all have someone that we're accountable to, and we should always be that person that helps someone else be accountable. How many careers in the military, how many things in life would have been saved had somebody just had some accountability in their life to say, hey, that's not a good idea. That's probably not a good plan. So let me ask you, who do you have that is in accountability in your life that helps hold you accountable? There's a great book, a great article written called the Bathsheba Syndrome, and it's about what happens to leaders when they no longer have accountability in their life and the dangerous consequences that occur. You know, accountability works on the human plane between one another, but it also works on the spiritual plane. In the Jewish tradition, the Ten Commandments operate as an accountability, telling left and right limits of what you can and cannot do. That's a great way to hold ourselves accountable in the spiritual plane. In my life as a follower of Christ's teachings, those are my left and right limits that hold me accountable to be kind to people, to remember that it's not about me, that it's more about other people. These are all things that really matter and help inform and help us become the best version of ourselves. Accountability keeps our marital relationships healthy and connected. Accountability allows those around us to see when we are struggling and run to the rescue. Accountability waves the red flag of warning before we drive off the moral or ethical cliff of no return. Well, life on mission sounds good, doesn't it? See, when we're connected and we have accountability, we can live on purpose. We can experience the thrill to live, and we can accomplish the mission that we were put here to accomplish. Speaking of mission, this Tuesday I'm bringing lunch into the building on the second floor in our break room. Matter of fact, I'm going to hold you accountable to be there. See how easy that was? So stop by. I'll look forward to hearing your story of how you've reached out to 22 people this month. And until then, I'm Chaplain Bates. I'm praying for you, and I'll leave the light on.